and welcome. My name is Tanya and I'm one of the co-founders of the Female Factor. And today I have the honor to talk to you about your LinkedIn profile. This video is actually part of our career competence checks that we are providing exclusively for you as an inner circle member at the Female Factor. Doesn't matter if you're currently on the job hunt or if you're generally open for new opportunities out there, if you want to find a way to elevate your personal brand, or if you have a business or about to start your own company, then actually this video can help you to get everything straight when it comes to LinkedIn. So why LinkedIn, you may ask? Well, LinkedIn is one of the fastest growing business social networks out there. And we're not saying it's the holy grail, but it can definitely help you to open up opportunities for you in a business and a career sense, right? So how do we do that? My lovely colleague, Sophie, actually volunteered to get through her LinkedIn profile together with you. So I will show you what I would change if I would be her. And I give you some hands-on advice and I guide you through how to change it properly. If you ask yourself now, why does she talk about this? Well, before starting the Female Factor, I was working for several startups and helping them recruit the right people. So I saw tons of CVs and I saw tons of like LinkedIn profiles, and I wanted to share my knowledge, which I gained over the last years. I'm also pretty active there. So if you see that video and we're not connected yet, just shoot me a contact request. So, and we're diving right into Sophie's profile, and I'm sharing my screen with you so you can see. Then let's try. So this is beautiful Sophie, and this is her profile. Yes. And we're getting started right away with the first thing people are actually noticing, because mostly they're directed from somewhere to your profile through the link you're sending them. And by default is actually a long number behind your actual name. This is what LinkedIn does automatically. So we want to change that. We want to make it neat and nice. Myself, I changed it a couple of years ago to T. Sternbauer, which is not very smart, but I didn't want to change it afterwards because I edited it everywhere. So this is my short link. It's still easier than with the numbers behind, but however, try to change it to your first and last name, obviously as a first choice. Good. How do we change it? We are going here. If you go on your profile, on edit, public profile and URL, and then you're landing on your public profile settings page. And here the first option on the right side is actually changing your LinkedIn short URL. LinkedIn is telling you what you can't and can do. So first and last name is always my first choice. Obviously, even if I didn't keep it myself, but I would recommend you to have first and last name there and then just save it. If it's not available anymore, you can try different versions, obviously. Good. So that was the first step already. Yay. And then while we are on this public profile settings page, we can also check other things. You can edit content and play around what you want to see showcase first. And then most important, check your visibility. A lot of people are not having their, for example, picture shown to not anyone that they are not connected with. So it's important that you're actually having that visible. I don't see any reason why not, because otherwise people don't know if it's really you, if they met you at a conference, for example, or stuff like that. So make sure everything is invisible here so people can actually find you and identify you. Good. Then we're going back to Sophie's profile. The next thing we see is her profile picture. That's perfect. Why is it that perfect? It has a very clean background. It is not dragging any attention from Sophie away. You can see her face, you can see her posture and her body language a bit, and she's wearing a more or less professional outfit, which is great. And she's smiling on the picture, and the light is great. So all over that is a perfect profile picture for LinkedIn. What you should avoid here is other people, obviously, or animals or anything that is not you and your face on it. And try to make yourself visible, obviously, because people want to recognize you and it counts as a first impression. So make sure that you're representing yourself accordingly. So now if you don't have a friend that can shoot professional pictures, or if you don't want to pay for it, it's actually quite easy with any of the new phones that has like the option to have a portrait mode to actually shoot nice pictures. I did that multiple times myself. You can just go outside, find a nice background, and then just have yourself in the focus, have a nice lighting on it, and then edit it in the free Lightroom app. And it's quite easy to have a good professional picture shot by yourself. But however, I would definitely recommend working with like a photographer, because again, they can also tell you how to position yourself better, etc. But if you just type in a quick Google research, what you should do for professional headshots, and there are actually some guides out there how to position yourself. If you compare it now to mine, I also think it's a good picture. It's basically me from the front, I'm smiling, and I even have this turquoise circle on it. Why? Because it's representing the female factor brand. And if people are seeing it somewhere recommended, like here, small ones, it makes me stand out a bit more. So you can obviously do that as well if you have your own brand. Otherwise, you don't need to, obviously. Good. So that's check one. And then we have the background picture. So the other thing people are seeing is obviously the background picture. Not a lot of people are using that banner option, especially not if you're on a job hunt or if you're like not, you know, working with your own company. Sophie is having ours. So we are asking our team members if they want to share our own messages, which is nice. Thank you, Sophie. But obviously, if you're not so tied to your company or if you're on the job hunt yourself, you can use it for your own personal space to represent your skills. So if you're like a content writer, you can write there some things, what you wrote, for example, or what's your specialty, some keywords, or like maybe something that makes you stand out in any other way. If it's your favorite quote, whatsoever, use it in a space that is actually tailored to you and represents you and what you want to do, right? No like stock photos or anything, but even that, stock photos are better than no background. Still makes you stand out a bit. Good. If you're not sure about the ratio what you put in there, we are providing that in our guide as well, the optimal length for that. Good. So the next part is actually the tagline. So Sophie here as growth in digital marketing. Well, that's fine. However, it can be improved. Why? So this is one thing people actually see first. Also, we see here people are viewed, and we see here, okay, Elke, she is brand and event manager. Vera helps business understanding gains, not sure what exactly. The problem with LinkedIn is that it's very short, the first things that you can actually learn from. So I would always take that into consideration because a lot of people only see exactly what we see down there, just 2 lines. So make sure that this is relevant. For Sophie, if she's actively looking, then obviously she can rephrase that, but she can give a bit more context. So is she experienced growth and digital marketer? Is there anything that, like any platform she's specializing in? Is there any industry she's specializing in? Anything that gives a bit more context would be great. You can obviously put looking for new opportunities on there, however, not in the first parts of the whole description. That's my recommendation. But it's better to actually phrase it a bit around and say something like, always eager to improve XY's capacities in or whatsoever. So not directly saying that looking for new opportunities. And if so, only for a short period of time, because if you have it there for long, you know, can be a turn off, so to say. Okay, so this is it. Maybe as a background info, if I didn't give that yet, Sophie is currently looking for new options for her in the US market. So why do I'm saying this now? This can be actually put in the headline, but also in the area here. So she has Austria area because she's living in Vienna. Why is this important? Well, LinkedIn is smart and tries to connect her with people that are relevant to her, and LinkedIn does not know that she's currently looking in the US, even though it's Corona times and it can be a bit hard. So what you can do is actually adjust your headquarters, like your location to the location you're looking for into a job. Why does it help? Because it actually shows you relevant people, and relevant people actually see your profile then in New York or San Francisco, wherever she wants to go. So this is worth trying. And then another small thing is the contact info. For everyone who does not want to connect, or you're just not approving, but they still want to contact you and does not do emails, it is important to provide any sort of like how to get in touch with you. And Sophie has her email address on there, so make sure you have that as well. Okay. And then let's get started with the juicy stuff. So there's an about section, which is amazing to actually summarize what you're doing and who you are. So it should not identically repeat the CV that is down there, meaning all your experience, but put some things in between line, things you wanted people to understand and know about you, tags you think you are relevant to, like anything that can help you like really emphasize what you're doing and what you're good at and what makes you unique as a person. That should go here. That can also be hobbies in the last lines. It can also be achievements. It can be any awards. It can be something that is industry specific, anything that can help you to underline that you're good in what you're doing or why you want to be in that sphere. People want to get to know you, and it's important to put some things out there that can foster connection. What I would recommend as well in general is to see what other industry leaders are actually putting up there. So if she has someone that is working in growth and digital marketing, maybe look them up and see what they have in the tagline, what they have in their about section, if there are any important keywords, if there are any important like expressions and tags that she wants to use, and then just you know, spy on them and take the best parts of it for your own profile. This is how it's done. Okay, then activity, just as an understanding, this is what she did the last times and how she interacted and what she's doing there. Obviously, if you're on the job hunt, it would be good if you're more active there and showcase that you're actually, you know, getting in touch with others, commenting on business-specific stuff, industry-specific things, etc. Especially being in digital marketing, I feel Sophie could do a bit more here and showcase a bit more, but this will be on a follow-up video where we showcase you or tell you some tips about how to share your opinion leadership with others and how to position yourself better. Good, then let's see the experience part, which is obviously one of the most important ones. It actually shows the experience you had so far, all the jobs. What you can put on there is everything that is especially relevant to your position that you're looking for, but your whole history is great. Especially if you're sending out CVs as well, then it's important that it is actually the same information on both things, right? Just make sure that everything is aligned. What LinkedIn is doing is anyways, it's chronically ordering it by date. So the most present one is coming first. If you want to change anything, however, on that, you can do that as well if you log into your profile and it just shift it around a bit. So Sophie is content marketer at A1. Not everyone knows A1. It is a telecommunication provider. So in order to give more context, especially if you're looking for a job in the US, it would be good to put like a 1-2 liner about the company. So people understand better what's the industry about and what they are and how big they are whatsoever. And then her achievements. So maybe not even the role, but more the achievements she had, but also describing what she's doing there, especially if it's something outstanding. Content manager can be like 100 different things in our era of digital work, so it could be used to specify. And especially brag about yourself here. If you manage to do anything like heroic in this in the industry, in this job, then just put it there. And ideally also put it in bullet points, so it's nicer to read. And that goes for all the jobs that are relevant to what she's doing now. So for example, that she was a German teacher, might not be that interested. Office assistant in 2018, also not interesting. But if she is actually applying for a job in the US, then it might be useful to say that she is actually an English teacher, right? Or used to be a translator, sorry. So that would be something to think about what you want to put on there. Good, and then just is a business perspective, by the way. So for my profile, just to have it here as well, I had a featured section, we're going over that as well then. I'm putting here, for example, not my personal achievements, because it's not about what I'm doing in this company, it is about what the company is doing for me, because I want to showcase my business. So I'm putting there what we're doing for people in different shades, if it's partners, if it's women that we want to help. So I try to cater to every stakeholder that might come across my profile. What I'm doing as a business person as well is I'm putting my email address where they can reach me for specifically this role on there as well, which I think is important if you want to make business. Another thing, as a business perspective, what I'm doing here is I am not writing in a third-party form. So I'm saying Tanya is a serial entrepreneur, so I'm writing about myself basically. Why? Because most of the organizers we're working with, if they're looking for speakers, they can just copy-paste exactly the description, which makes it very easy in my opinion. So this is why I want to help and make my and their life easier. And Sophie, for example, just as an, if you compare it, she wrote it down in her first form, in I form, which makes total sense because she's a job seeker. She can talk about herself here. Okay, great. So one thing maybe here to note, Sophie worked as a volunteer, as an intern here at the Female Vector before she actually changed to digital marketing support. So what she could do, what she does is she actually has it on there in job experience, but she can also put it as volunteer. In that sense, I think especially because it was very, very related to what she is actually want to work in, it makes sense to have it there as well in the job area. However, to just switch around to see the volunteering experience, I have that here as well. 1 second, so you see it. So I put the volunteer experience as well, where I mentor, etc., which gives the organizations I'm volunteering for some visibility, and also me to, again, opinion leadership and expertise that I'm mentoring others for quite some time. I also was a volunteer a couple of years ago, so I put all of that there as well. And just because we have my profile again, I just wanted to give a quick thing to featured section, which can be good for Sophie as well. The featured section basically can provide anything that is relevant to you. For me, I'm showcasing again my own my achievements. Why is this important for me? Because we're working in female empowerment, and this is a very global approach to things. We're working with a lot of women. Female empowerment is a real huge thing. So I want to make sure that people understand that we know what we are doing, that we're really like focusing on that, that we really foster that on a global approach. So that's why I put all the things here. Also naming, for example, a newspaper thing that I had a coverage there is something that gives me credibility if people don't know me yet. So everything that underlines that I know what I'm doing and I'm a professional and that I got awards for that kind of helps me and the brand, which is for me more important to elevate the brand actually. But Sophie can put there like any other achievements she might encountered, anything that she's writing about, for example, if she's in content marketing, anything that she achieved when it comes to growth marketing, her certificates, whatever, like whatever is special about her, she can feature here. Good. So then go to, yeah, the education part anyways, just put your education on there. It's not super important. However, if you fill it in there, it actually shows you 2 people that attended college or university as well. So that is good for finding the right contact to make sure that this is complete, but this is for me a no-brainer anyways. And then let's go into the skills and endorsement section. Well, how to approach that? First of all, why is it important? Well, again, if people or recruiters are going on your page, what they see is, for example, here, that Sophie is endorsed by 2 colleagues from A1, which means actually people that are directly working with her are endorsing her. That gives me as a recruiter the feeling that she knows what she's doing because people that were working with her actually endorse her. What else is working? If people from that are also rated highly in a skill endorse you. So what you want to do is you go through the skills and endorsement that are needed for the job you want to apply for, the industry you want to go or whatever, and select that they are the most important ones, and then try to find people in your circle, in your list that are highly skilled in these, and then ask them for endorsements. How to do that best? You endorse them first, and then just shoot them a quick message saying, hey, can you endorse me maybe as well? Thank you very much, appreciated. Endorsing is very easy, so people most likely do it for you. The other thing, what is not so easy, and I'll show you here, is the recommendations. Yeah, recommendation, that is the section here. That depends if it's important, like for some it is super important, for some geographical parts of the world. In Europe, less important. However, it can help you obviously still. So why do you want to do it? Is just, again, if a recruiter or any business partner is going on your profile and they don't know you yet, it gives a very nice introduction that people actually believe in what you're doing, or they know that you're good in the job. So that's why you want to have it. The way you approach it best is actually you ask people for a recommendation. You can actually write them directly. You can also use the button here provided by LinkedIn. And I personally would recommend you to write the recommendation yourself, at least in some points, because then you can make sure that the content you want to have there is aligned with your brand and what you want to say and what you want to be known and recommended for, and then send it to the people and saying, hey, you know, I prepared that already for you. In exchange, I can give you one, or you give one first, and then you ask if they can do it in return, and they can just use that one or just slightly adapt it to their style. That works best, I would say. Even though I just received one, but I was in touch with Cheryl before. So yeah, that's what we were talking about that. So supporting each other, good. So yeah, and for skills, just one last thing, really make sure that the ones that you wanna be known for are representing here first. And yeah, see here, you see the endorsement by Bernd Litzka, who is highly skilled at this. So this is the things you wanna see on your profile. So make sure that you're like getting that from people who are highly skilled in that. Good. Then we have a section of accomplishments, languages, projects. That's great. Just fill it out if you have. If you don't, it's fine as well. And then you have also interests, things that you're following and liking and engaging with. Make sure that you also join some groups that are in your area, especially growth marketing, digital marketing is something. There are lots of good out there. Even if you're not interacting a lot, that just showcases what you can, that you're interested in and that you're active in. Especially for job seekers, this is important because it's kind of showcasing that you're driving connection and you have an interest in that, and people are hiring you these days because you know more than them and because you have the right people in the back that can help you. So just make sure to showcase that you're active in the scene. What we, by the way, also recommend is to put in the female factor engagement that you're part of. So some of our members have that already, mentors as well. Why? Because it showcases that you're into professional and personal development, and that you can actually access a global network of other leaders, which can be highly important for future employers. Yeah, last thing maybe to come back here, just some things you can adjust as well, is you can add profiles in another language, especially if you're in the German-speaking countries. It might be relevant because some of the recruiters are only searching for German speakers, so to say. However, in the past, I noticed for some of the people who had double profiles that there were problems with it. So just be careful that you have the right things. And then also, if you're currently in the job hunt, you can use the show recruiters you're open to work, so you can change that. And you can also, if you're an entrepreneur yourself, you can adjust that in providing services. In general, just make sure to check what LinkedIn is offering. They're always rolling out new features, and they're pushing new features. And in the first few weeks when they introduced those services, they were really, really pushed across the whole network. So this can give you an extra boost. And then one last, let me just check if I forgot anything. No, I think that's fine. And one last advice in terms of connection. So if you see Sophie is just about to get started, she has 160 connections, and me, I've like around, I don't know, 4,000, 3,000 something. And the first thing I think what's still our approach to social networks is, I don't know you, so I don't want to be friends with you. However, I also supported that, but with LinkedIn, it's really a bit different. And if you think it's not relevant to be connected to someone in the US, if you don't want to go to the US anytime soon, you have no idea what sometimes people can actually make happen if you're connected to them in the right way. So that doesn't mean you should send unnecessary like message requests to anyone out there. It also doesn't mean you need to approve all of them. I'm just saying, be more aware. If it's in the right industry, if you're doing similar things, it can really help and benefit you, and you never know what they can see and if they can forward the right thing to the right person. So don't be afraid to just reach out to people and connect and ask them to have a quick chat or anything, or even not even that, even just connect and writing a nice note can help. And the last section, if you ever think about upgrading to a premium profile, you really literally don't need it. It's really only good if you're heavily investing in LinkedIn, but is it just to get started job seeker, it's not necessary. You can try their free trial, mostly they offer that, but this is it. Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed my little introduction to LinkedIn. If you have any specifics that you want to have covered in our career competence checks, then just let us know. We're going through it with you together. And I hope you enjoyed that video. And that's it. Have a great day. Bye.